board from this perspective.
I know it's weird, it's being here.
Are we good? Oh, perfect. Maybe. This is being sent to YouTube. We're good? Okay.
Yeah. Taken.
Okay. All right. I would like to call this meeting to order. We acknowledge that the Wilfrid Laurier Student Union operates on the traditional territory of the Neutral and Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee people. Regrets for this evening, Director Nakishatra and Director St. George sent the regrets, and Director Rubinov is be joining us soon. All right. Is there any conflicts of interest to declare? Okay, moving on to the adoption of the agenda. I just have to motion that we amend the agenda to add an in-camera session. So can I please get a motion that the board amend the agenda to add an in-camera? Motion by Director Laheka, seconded by Director Bumket. Is there any discussion on the matter? All right, we can move into voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Vote passes 0-0 to 9. Now we have to approve or adopt the amended agenda. Can I get a motion that the board of directors adopt the amended agenda as presented? Motion by Director Ejam, seconded by Director Tariq. Any discussion on the matter? No? All right, move into voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Vote passes 0-0 to 9. Moving on to the adoption of the consent agenda. So can I get a motion that the board of directors adopt the consent agenda of GP2F, GP2G, GP2I, EL2F, and EL2E? Motion by Director Rusolo, seconded by Director Tariq. Any discussion on the matter? No. All right, we can move into voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Vote passes 0-0 to 9. All right, moving on to the adoption of the meeting minutes, or approval of the meeting minutes, sorry. So can I get a motion that the board of directors approve the May 6th, 2024, June 3rd, 2024, July 8th, 2024, August 12th, 2024, September 9th, 2024, and February 10th, 2025 meeting minutes? Motion by Director Unkat, seconded by Director Laheka. Any discussion on the matter? No? All right, we can move into voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Vote passes 0-0 to 9. All right, moving on to comments from myself. We're out of time now. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so I just wanted to let everyone know that we're having our next board meeting in Waterloo along with the other directors for next year. Yeah, so we're gonna do the chair nominations, vice chair, and then also have some like food from Wilkes and stuff. So it'd be great if everyone could come in person. And obviously Brentford directors, your travel expenses will be reimbursed. So feel free to come if you want. Yeah, also for the year-end gift, every director gets a little gift because we're volunteers. So our the volunteer amount is $30. So I just wanted to like ask you guys what you would like. Like I don't remember what we did last year. Gift cards maybe? We had gift cards. Is that something you would want, like a gift card? Okay.
We have Visa.
Wait.
I get Visa gift card.
Prepaid.
So we can spend it wherever you want.
That's true. I just give you $30 cash.
There's alcohol considerations there, and
Oh.
Messi was $2.
Never mind, we're not doing that.
Yes.
Darn it. You want like a gift card to like a store?
Like Tim's or something.
A gift card? Okay. Maybe I'll just send you guys like a little Google form and then you can type in what you would like for your gift card. Cause I feel like you can't really get anything else. Like last year we were thinking of like hoodies or something, but really. Maybe for like you guys, but I'm graduating. I need more Laurier merch. Okay, so I'll do that. So if you guys can get that back to me once I send it out, then I can go buy those and do your year-end gift. As long as it's before April 6th, because then I'm not in Waterloo anymore, so. All right, moving on to comments from President and CEO.
Alright, got a good amount for you folks tonight, since we haven't seen each other for almost a month, which feels crazy. But thank you for the kind feedback. My formal response letter was included in the agenda package, but didn't think there was a ton to say on that front, so if you look to my road, it's there. In terms of kind of operational updates, renegotiating the comprehensive student services agreement is the biggest priority for us right now. Working with the institution, the game plan is to have a final agreement signed by the end of the year. We'll see how that goes, running into a couple speed bumps, but my hope is alive. We'll see what happens. Current priority on those negotiations is to have language included to protect students from large increases to the CSS fee as we navigate some institutional budget stuff. So hopefully we can get that included. Speaking of the university budget, we're working really closely with the Student Affairs Office and the Provost's Office on navigating some challenges they're facing right now. The projected deficit is still sitting around 20 million for next year, but we're doing some work to get that cut down a little bit in support of the student affairs side of things. The Freedom of Expression Task Force work is ongoing. Current focus for me on that front is around a student's freedom to learn. So they're striking a subgroup on that to explore it further. So that's largely where we'll be focusing student input. The Ontario Undergraduate Student Alliance's General Assembly was this past weekend and passed 2 policy papers. Shout out to Brody and Gabby from our GSR team for getting their comprehensive access strategy paper passed. It was a great weekend. Got to meet a lot of cool people from other schools, so all in all a win. Phil and I are still working on the athletics and recreation memorandum of understanding for that fee. Meeting tomorrow to hopefully get it to a point where we can sign it. So should have an update for that in the next meeting. Search committee for the new VP Student Affairs is kicking off fully next week as well. Hope right now is to have someone in that role come July. The work of the search committee will largely wrap up by the end of April, but might bleed into May a little bit. Sarah and I will continue to support that committee as long as it's going, even if it does run into May. And we've worked that out with Ryan. Some operational updates from Brantford. The Brantford Hawk Walk van program isn't going to be operating for the rest of the year. The walk service is still alive and well. The van program will be out of commission until September. Budget submissions are in from all the VPs for next year, working on putting that together for presentation to you folks in April. And then as of today, you might have seen something in your email about the City of Waterloo's injunction for St. Patrick's Day. We met this morning with our GSR team to talk about what our response is going to look like. Largely, we're focused on student support, so we have some programming running this week to educate students on what's going on, how they can stay safe and behave responsibly this week. We're also looking at what a response can look like from a harm reduction lens to Waterloo Regional Police, just to make sure the student voice is heard there as well. Happy to answer questions if folks have it, but that's largely what's going on.
Why is the opt-in discontinued?
I can get into more details in camera if you'd want, but we ran into some issues with it operationally over the last few weeks. So Shia, our VP of Brantford, thought it was best to call it a year and try again next year.
Does anyone else have any questions? Yeah, I guess like with the injunction, like does the student union play a role in like enforcing anything? Like, we're not really involved in that really.
Yeah, not in the enforcement at all. We weren't in part of the decision-making process either. That was the City of Waterloo and, to our understanding, some collaboration from the institution. So we're focused on responding to it right now. Again, we have the focus of student support, and then some of that harm reduction piece in our response to the city and the police department.
Okay. So you guys are like planning things for this week?
Yeah, so we have
Engage
programming
students.
running in Waterloo. It's Wednesday or Thursday this week. So it's our emergency response team, student rights advisory committee, and our activities team. Trying to get a bunch of information out to students. Some of it will just be have fun this weekend. Other parts will be how to stay safe, and then we'll have some student right pieces as well, given the information that came out today.
Okay. And I'm assuming like something like that's not happening in Brantford? Like it's not?
No, so yeah, the injunction is City of Waterloo. It's confined to the University District, which is basically a couple blocks on every side of Warriors campus.
No. Yeah. All right, does anyone else have any questions for Ben? No? Okay, we can move on to comments from the executive director and COO?
Yeah, I don't have a ton to add beyond what Ben updated, but there are a
You're
few.
talking, but
You are muted, Phil.
yeah.
No, I'm not.
I just
Or
say you
muted.
are.
Right now?
Bueller.
Talking about, Avinash can hear them.
Oh. It is on.
Yeah.
Maybe it's still on.
Bueller.
Go to like this, the speaker thing.
Speakers are on.
We could hear them earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah, it's you. You're the problem. It's you.
Oh, there we go.
Try now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
The problem was you. Okay.
The problem was the boardroom tech, to be clear.
I don't buy it, doesn't sound legit. Anyways, I don't have a ton to add beyond what Ben did, but there's a few different things. The Students' Union has operationally started, planning for the 50th anniversary of the Students' Union. So we have a few committees kind of working to figure out what celebration looks like and what we can do to kind of give back to our community as well. There will be, ultimately, we're looking at doing some event planning, some merch giveaways, some scholarships. Sorry, we're in the meeting. Things of that nature. So we're hoping to be able to make an announcement on April 16th of this year, which is the actual anniversary of incorporation, while planning a year's long worth of celebrations throughout next year, academic year. Starting as early as orientation week and going all the way to April 16th, 2026. Not a lot of details on that because we only just started meeting, just kind of spitballing ideas at this point. We've got a general vision of the direction that we're heading, and we're actually pretty excited to celebrate 50 years of Student Union madness. Quick Wills staffing update. Currently we have our general manager who is on a parental leave, has resigned his position and will not be returning after his parental leave. So we're in the process of trying to figure out what that looks like getting through the rest of this academic year. And we kind of circle the wagons, if you'll pardon the expression, to kind of revamp what hospitality looks like in the 25-26 academic fiscal years. We wish Andy and his family all the best. He made that decision to be able to stay home for the rest of this calendar year and watch his son begin his life. They're kind of be a tight-knit family in Woodstock. So we wish them well in all their future endeavors. And sad to see him go because he's a long-serving employee of the Students' Union for over a decade. Also, just a quick note that the health and dental proposals are in the process of being reviewed. We kind of met as a committee to kind of go over them in somewhat painstaking detail. Kelly is going to be scheduling meetings over the next 2 to 3 weeks to try to get those companies to come in and do a presentation to those committees so they can delegate. That's not right. Anyways, they can get together and make a decision and set our health and dental plan for the future. So we're looking forward to that process. Thanks to those of you on the board that are part of that process. Lots of work ahead of us, so strap in for the good times. And then we have received a contract from Rubrik, which is potentially going to be the club's management software moving forward. We're in the process of reviewing that contract before signing it. That's the decision that the board allowed us to make after the last time we got together a little month ago. Or exactly. And that's about it for us.
Does anyone have any questions for Phil? I was just wondering, so the person at Wills that
Yeah.
Is that like you're in the process of hiring a new person? Is that gonna affect like anything with Wills until like the end of the year or until the end of the school year?
It shouldn't, because he's been off since the beginning of January on parental leave. It just means he's not coming back at the end of this month, which means our currently stressed team will be stressed for maybe a couple of weeks longer as we kind of get through this busy month. March is one of the busiest months of Will's year anyways, which he was gonna miss all of it anyways. So there should be minimal impact, but I would be naive to say that there'd be no impact.
And then like obviously Will's isn't open in the summer for like dine-in services, right?
Yeah, Will's is open usually kind of spottily over the course of the summer. Sometimes we open for lunches, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we open for grad week, sometimes we don't. So the business team will kind of sit down and kind of make a business plan for the year moving forward and kind of make those decisions, and we'll communicate those as they become aware. If we end up not opening up over the course of the summer months, as a whole, the business loses less money, which means starting in September, the hole that we need to climb out of is not nearly as big as if we were to open, which kind of sounds like a backwards philosophy, but it is true. But we're confident that under the leadership of Chris Turner, that the operation will kind of have a really great plan and attack the 50th anniversary year pretty head on and very strong.
Okay, sounds good. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, there's a question in the chat. Do you guys see it, or do you want us to read it to you?
Overhand meeting. I can see that. How will the hiring process? I'm not entirely sure. So basically, what we typically will do is take a review of the departmental org chart as well as the job description for that particular role. And try to kind of take feedback from the hospitality team to see what works and what doesn't work and what needs to be tweaked. And that actually will include probably consultation with Andy on some level. Not a ton of consultation because he's chosen to leave, but ultimately his feedback could be valuable. And then once we have the job description ready and the org chart for the department ready to go, we will post. Typically we post for anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. And then ultimately do interviews for about 2 weeks and then hopefully make a decision and have somebody in place. If everything goes according to plan, as it typically wraps on wood, hopefully have somebody in place by July.
Does anyone else have any other questions? All right, so we can move on to the year-end board reviews. So we have the president of Wilfrid Laurier Student Publications to come and talk to you guys about the year-end board reviews. So yeah, you can go ahead and.
All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak here today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Umaima Suhail, and as Gabby just introduced me, I'm the president, publisher, and chair at Wilfrid Laurier University Student Publications, also known as WILUSIP. So if you're familiar with the Cord or the Sputnik, our school's student newspapers, WILUSIP is kind of the organization that those papers are under. So back in November, the Cord's editor-in-chief did ask Students' Union board members if they wanted to participate in our annual midterm board reviews. And at that time, a lot of board members, from my understanding, declined those interviews just because they felt like some of those questions that were being asked were just inappropriate or unprofessional to ask. And honestly, fair enough. I honestly kind of agree with that. That makes sense to me. I think that's reasonable. But I just wanted to come here and briefly explain why we're doing those reviews in the first place, why we've done them for years and years and years, and why we think it's really, really important for board members to be on board with this and participate, especially because we are looking to complete our final Students' Union board reviews later this week. I just want to make sure that we're all kind of on the same page. So again, I do kind of admit that the questions were not worded the best. For sure, we are going to definitely try to rephrase the questions for the next board reviews, because in no way, shape, or form is our intention ever to put board members against each other or to search for gossip or ask anyone to speak poorly of their peers. That's really not what we're trying to do here with the board reviews, and I apologize if it's definitely come off like that. So the reason why we do board reviews every year is to provide an opportunity for board members to speak openly, freely, and anonymously about what kind of goes on at the Students' Union, especially beyond what students might see. So kind of behind the scenes, behind closed doors, that kind of stuff. And board reviews are a space that can be used to hold other board members accountable for their behavior. And it's basically a space to provide transparency to our student body at Laurier. So just to give a quick example of that and what I really mean, while I was a student at Laurier, I remember there were not just one, but two and three, a couple of board members from the Students' Union that I knew personally, and they kind of complained a bit about how, and I'm sure it's not like this anymore because this was a few years ago, but they said that they've overheard some like racist talk, misogynistic talk, things like that from people on the board at the Students' Union. And I believe one of those people at the Students' Union, they resigned their position and they posted some letter on social media about it. So I'm not sure. It was a while ago. So I fully believe that. I mean, everyone here seems like a great group of people, so I highly doubt it's like that anymore. But in the past, there definitely have been issues like that, which is why we have this opportunity for board members. Also, when I was writing for our student newspaper and I would interview people who were from the Students' Union, they often felt kind of hesitant to talk to me as a journalist. They didn't want it to compromise their position at all at the Students' Union, which is why we have these done anonymously. So no one will know like who said what. It's completely anonymous. You're completely free to say whatever you would like to say. Again, it's just to provide that accountability and transparency aspect to the students. And this is board members' space to do that if they don't have that space already. So if everyone on the board is doing a really good job, everyone's pulling their weight, everyone's super nice, it's perfectly fine to say that in your board review. And it's perfectly fine. The students deserve to know that too. If everything's going all well, like that's something that we can include in the board reviews. And again, that just provides transparency to the students. It's just essentially just for the students to know what it's like on the board. So I was wondering if anyone had any questions about that or anything else I can clear up about the board reviews, anything else I can kind of explain, because when we do our final board reviews, I really just want to make sure that everyone feels a lot more confident and willing to participate in those. Again, it's just for accountability, transparency. It's really just for the student body. We're really not trying to search for gossip or anything like that. And again, I apologize that if that's how it's come off before.
Good here. Does anyone have any questions online? Anything? No? Well, thank you for coming and sharing that information with us. It's very helpful.
All right, thank you so much. I will be sending out emails this week, I think, asking board members if they would like to participate in the board. Again, if you do have any further questions or if you think of something later on, feel free to just email me. My email is president@wlusp.com, and I'm more than happy to explain anything or answer any other questions. Again, we just really want to make sure that board members feel comfortable, confident, in participating in these board reviews because they're just, again, really important for the student body. So thank you so much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you for coming. All right, so we can move on to so the next up was the Brantford by-election. We didn't have anyone put in nomination package for that. So we can either reopen nominations, or we can open them like later in the fall.
So I emailed you, but one person's not.
I know, I emailed them, but it was like they were due at Friday at noon.
Oh.
So it was like really late, and I emailed them like, I think I emailed them like Thursday night, and I was like, hey, it's like super late, but like if you did want to do a package, so yeah, and they didn't get back to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately didn't work out. But that's okay. So I think we should just reopen, like I think they should just reopen them in the fall when we have like the Get Involved fairs and stuff, and like all the eager people are looking for places to get involved at Laurier. Cause we did that a couple years ago. There was 2 spots open on the board, and we, at the Get Involved fairs, we were giving out nomination packages, and like we ended up getting a couple of people actually like apply for it. So yeah, I don't think reopening them again for this year is gonna like do us any good. You guys think, Ian, do we have to vote on this? Oh, yeah, Lily, you have a question? No. Okay. Ian, do we have to vote on this?
It probably doesn't help just to get it on there.
Okay. So, can I just like motion it to reopen them in the fall?
Yeah, you could, you could say a motion that the incoming board determine a timeframe to reopen the position. We can put on the agenda for the first May meeting and they can solidify a plan.
Okay.
For the summer, like there will be two less,
There's one.
or one.
There's one Brantford director, they're just missing one other Brantford director.
Oh, okay, so they got one already.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, then the one, her name is Julia, she's the one Brantford director, and then, yeah, there was just one open spot for Brantford. So,
Okay.
all right, so, can I get a motion that the board, put the one open, what's it called? The Brantford, open director seat on the agenda for the incoming board for their meeting in May. And then they can determine how they would like to proceed with the open seat. So motion by Director Bunket, seconded by Director Ejam. Any discussion on the matter? No? All right, moving to voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Vote passes 0-0 to 9. All right, moving on to February Board of Directors feedback response, which you already kind of mentioned.
Yeah, not a ton to say other than what I did. Appreciate the positive feedback and all of your confidence in my team and I. Looking forward to a great month and a bit left, which is a little scary. But yeah, not really a ton to add.
Yeah, does anyone have any questions for what Ben said? I mean, his letter was pretty straightforward and we're out there for the feedback session, so. All right, I don't think we did, do you have to accept your feedback response or something?
I think it was just for discussion, so I think we're good.
All right, moving on to the direct inspection committee election. So I think this is our last one, so we have 2 more policies we have to inspect. EL2L, general meetings and elections, and then BMD 2D3, monitoring executive performance, performance management. So I need 2 directors to be on this committee. It shouldn't take too long, it'll probably be like less than an hour. And yeah, anyone want to nominate themselves or someone else? Yeah, Lulu?
I nominate myself.
Yourself?
Me.
Perfect. Okay, and second person?
For which one,
Those 2, direct inspection committee. You just have to review policy and make sure it's like up to date and stuff.
I'd like to nominate Dr. Gotsisha, I mean, sorry, not doctor, Director Gotsisha.
Director Godse Shah, do you accept the nomination? Fine, I'll take that as a no, they're not answering. Just kidding, you probably can't hear or something.
Sorry, did you just nominate me? Director, sure. Sorry, I was just. All right, I'll stand.
All right. That's awkward. Did he just leave the meeting? Can you come back? No, there you go, perfect.
Sorry, there's a lot going on. I'll stand.
Yeah, thank you.
He's overwhelmed with this opportunity.
All right, so can I get a motion that the board accept the nominations of Vice Chair Hatzimichael and Director Godse Shah to the Direct Inspection Committee, motion by Director Bunket, seconded by Director Tariq. Any discussion on the matter? All right, we can move into voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Vote passes 0-0 to 9. I'll send you guys an email about that. All right, and Lastly, the merge ownership linkage update. Hand it over to you.
Okay, don't have what I put up here, but based off of what I remember. Is
Are
it,
you on the agenda?
yeah,
It's at the last page.
we did do our thing for the month, and then I think Director Rubinoff, is looking to do a student survey. So during our last meeting, we just went over the questions for that student survey. I'm not sure about the execution, that's gone up to Director Rubinoff, because it was his proposed idea. And then now we're just looking to plan our last concourse booth and then release the student survey. I think that's all I have.
Is there gonna be a meeting on Monday?
I think. Talk to Daniel, it depends on when we want to have our booth. I say we probably should, because if we want our booth before exams, like exams and stuff,
Yeah.
we probably should have it sooner.
Okay.
So probably, yeah.
Okay, so meeting on Monday, March 17th, still happening. 7 p.m. Should we put it like earlier? Can we do it earlier? Probably not, eh? Because people are
On March 17th, we have the health and dental one.
Is
What time
that,
is
is that 2:30?
That's from 4 to 6. I can be wrong with
It's 2:30 to 4 in my calendar.
Yeah, I just know it was during my class.
I just know it was like 4, either it started or ended.
Okay, yeah, that's so funny.
Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
You know, on duty until like 8 p.m. The whole day. Yeah. That's fine. I could potentially hop on.
honestly,
Is that 7?
as long as you and Director Rudolph can be there.
You think it's fine?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's not
So-
gonna be long, it's just, we need to set
Okay.
a date.
So we'll keep it at 7 for now, and then, yeah, you guys can join. All right, so. Okay, as we move in camera, we don't have to add on Ian.
Ian and the board secretary, I think.
Okay. So can I get a motion that the board proceed into an in-camera session with the addition of Ian and the board secretary, motion by Director Spiritu, seconded by Director Gotze Shaw. Any discussion on the matter? No, all right, we'll move into voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Vote passes 0-0.